Alright, good morning. So, this lecture video is intended for my feasibility studies tutorial students. Now, so I decided to just record my supposed to be online lecture with you guys for the reason that I am not sure no, with my signal on the time that we scheduled. No? So, medyo intermittent kasi ang signal sa location ko right now. No, and at the same time, para pwede nyong balik-balikan no, anytime you need to. So please watch the video. Thank you. Alright, so I'll just give you a crash course no, on feasibility study. Now, so before I start, you as a future HR personnel, no, so maybe you have this question, no, why do you think you need to study no, or to have a knowledge about conducting a feasibility study? Well, in any areas no, or field of work or in whatever department you will be assigned to, let's say either on marketing, no, on finance, on HR, in the HR department, or in production. No, in every department in the workforce, no, there's a need to conduct a feasibility study. Alright, so now, what is feasibility study? No, so feasibility study, it is needed no, before starting a new project, developing a new product or service, establishing a new business, or upgrading and modifying existing businesses. No, but mostly, feasibility studies use, no, it's either to analyze and evaluate a proposed project. No, it can be a product, no, an idea, or a concept. Now, let's say for example, during this pandemic crisis no, that we are experiencing, no, it brings a lot of problems no, and limitations not only to us no, but also in every businesses and organizations no. And since we need to continue with our operations kasi kung hindi no, our industry will not function and our economy will be the one to suffer no. Let's say as an HR, we need to conduct feasibility study now for us to identify what are the possible things that we need to do, and if we will do it, the question is it feasible? Alright, so now what do we mean when we say feasible? Now, if you would notice, the word feasible now has the same sound with the word possible. Now, feasible means, is it possible to do it easily or conveniently? Now, and I just wanted to clarify now what feasibility study is. Now, so basically, it is an assessment of practicality now, of a proposed plan or a method. Now, so going back with my example, let's say we are an HR personnel no, in a company. Let's say we need to come up no, with plans and strategies and opportunities now in the field of human resource. What are the things that we need to do now to ensure that our operations now, in the business will continue to operate? And if we will continue to operate, what are the things now, that we need to do to ensure not only the security of the company during this pandemic crisis, but the safety of our human resources as well. Now, especially if we will follow the guidelines no, of the IATF. Now, there are a lot of protocols, sobrang dami, and there are a lot of materials no, or things that needs to be purchased now by the company for them to continue with their operation. No? Well, that's in the part of the finance department, but as human resource, our part is for the benefits of the employees no, or the human resources. No? So we need to come up with a feasibility study, and you have to take note, not all feasibility studies are alike. The elements to include in a feasibility study no, may vary according to the type of business, venture being analyzed, and the kind of market opportunities now being identified. So our feasibility study may be different now from the finance department or other department because they will focus more now, let's say, on the financial aspect and so on and so forth. Now, so In other words, the feasibility study is needed to analyze and evaluate a proposed project to determine if it is technically feasible. No, and if it is feasible, with the capacity of your department, so let's say HR department, including the estimated cost and the budget that you maybe need, it will be beneficial for the department and for the company. Now, what is the difference of feasibility study versus business plan? Kasi yung iba kasi karamihan they interchange business plan or feasibility study, or let's say sasabi ng iba that they are the same. No, but feasibility study and business plan is different. No, so feasibility study determine whether to go ahead with the business or with another idea. Now, while the business plans are designed after the decision to go ahead has already been made. So, ibig sabihin, bago magkaroon ng business plan, the first thing that needs to be done is the feasibility study. So, after the feasibility study has been made, has been analyzed, has been approved, that's the time that the business plan will be created. So, ang business plan ay magagawa lang siya kapag nakagawa ka na ng feasibility study, the feasibility study has been analyzed and has been approved. So that's the time na magkakaroon ng business plan. So parang aalamin mo muna, is it kung itong plano ba na to, is it feasible? Now, if it's feasible, then that's the time that the business plan will be created. So yun po yung pinagkaiba ng business plan sa feasibility study. So it should be clear with you guys that feasibility study is different from business plan as well as with the research paper. Kasi feasibility study is more on the exercises or opportunities to find out the extent to which things or plans can be implemented. Alright, so I hope that the meaning or the definition of the feasibility study is now clear with you guys. Now, I'll proceed with discussing with you the different types of feasibility study. So, we have the technical feasibility, we have the financial feasibility, we have the market feasibility, and we have the organizational feasibility. So, like what I mentioned earlier, so in every department, there's a need to conduct feasibility study, and we have different contents, we have different topics to discuss, and because there are different types of feasibility, it depends on the nature of the job or the nature of the field that you are working. So in technical feasibility, it can be the hardware or the software. It's either you are about to introduce a new product, or you need to conduct a feasibility with the existing or the new technology. It's either the manpower, the location or the site analysis, and the transportation. And in the financial feasibility, it can be the initial investment that your company would be needing, resources to procure capital in the banks, investor, venture capitalist, or something like that, or either return on investment. In the market feasibility type naman, it can be you will study the feasibility of the type of industry, the prevailing market, future market growth, competitors and potential customers or consumers, and of course the projection of sales. Now, and in the organizational type of feasibility, it's either the organizational structure of the business. You will identify kung ano ba yung mga position na needed, or ano ba yung mga position na hindi na kailangan, or something like that. Legal structure of the business or the specific project, or the management teams. It's either competency, professional skill, and experience. So these different types of feasibility study, if you would notice, it shows that in the different field of work, there are a lot of feasibility study that we need to cover. No, but it will depend on the nature of your job description. If you are already working in the marketplace or in the professional world. No, so I'll proceed now with the contents of the feasibility study. So syempre sa bawat researches or analysis na being conducted, no, of course there are contents no that you need to identify. No, so the most important part of the feasibility study, ito yung mga hindi nawawala sa feasibility study. The first one is the executive summary, no. So generally, an executive summary is relatively short, no, with an average length of 1 to 4 pages. And it should be written in short paragraphs using clear and concise language na appropriate for the target audience. Now, of course, if you are doing a feasibility study, no, it should be clear kung sino ang reader, no, or audience ng feasibility study na ginagawa mo. And if in case that you will use jargon words, no, make sure na alam ito ng audience mo, no, and if not, no, don't use it, no. But usually feasibility study is being presented, no, to the boss of your department. And bakit it should be clear, no? Kasi you need to convey the message of the feasibility study, no, as clearly as possible. No, so one more thing about the executive summary, no, it is the shorter version of the main document, no, and can be read separately, no, because it provides all the key points of the documents, no. So that's the executive summary. No? So the next one is the description of the product or service. Now in this content of the feasibility study, now based from its name, you describe the main point or the main topic of your study in details, no. And when we say product, no, it does not only literally means the actual product, no, that we are buying. No, it also refers to the main idea or to the main topic or to the main content, no, of your feasibility study, no. So that's the product. You will give descriptions or elaborations of your topic. Now, so for the next contents of the feasibility study, it depends in the nature of the feasibility study, no, that you are doing. There are contents, no, that I will show you, no, lists that can be used in your feasibility study. No? However, not all feasibility studies are alike. No? Pwede siyang magkakaiba ng content parts, the elements or parts to include, no, in a feasibility study. No? And it may vary, no, according to the type of business. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, it may vary on the type of business. Or venture being analyzed, no, and the kind of market opportunities being identified. No, so the list of the contents, no, that I show you may not be a complete listing of typical contents, no, to include that can be considered in your specific situation of your study. No, however, the success of your feasibility study is based on the careful identification and assessment of all the important issues for business success. Now, so what I'm trying to say is that there's no default template to use for feasibility study, no, comparing to research or thesis na yung research paper or thesis meron siyang sinusunod natin na chapter 1, no, chapter 2, chapter 3, so on and so forth. So feasibility study, it really depends on the need of your study. It depends on your careful identification and assessment of all the important issues for business success. And depending on your study, no, additional items may also be important to include. So yun, pagpasensyahan nyo na rin kung medyo masakit lalamunan ko. Hirap ako magsalita. So anyways, so of course, my challenge for you, no, my dear Physib Studies tutorial students, now for you to explore how to create a feasibility study on your own. Now, I'll give each one of you a topic that you need to study and come up with a feasibility study. Now, as future HR personnel, what I will give you are the topics that are very timely and relevant for HR staff this pandemic crisis. And once you're done with your FISIB study, I'll give you one-on-one consultation on how your output can be improved to be a legit, to be a legit feasibility study. So since I have only 4 students for this tutorial subject, I can have one-on-one consultation with you guys. So, bahala na kayong mamili. Kaya bahala na kayong mag-usap-usap kung ano-ano yung mga feasibility study na i-conduct ninyo. But here are the topics that I will give you. The first one is, as an HR, how would you turn the pandemic into opportunity? That's the first. Second, in this pandemic, how to strengthen your employees' minds in these trying times. The third is how to raise employee engagement despite COVID-19. And the last one is a feasibility of implementing electronic human resource management, since everything is adapting online. So that's it. So what I want you to do is to come up with a feasibility study, and once you have the feasibility study, I'll have one-on-one consultation with you guys on how you can improve the feasibility study that you are doing. So if you have questions, just raise it on our group chat. That's all. Thank you.